Boosted Speed Demon here. On today's episode of The Basics, we are going to be doing how to check your oil. The example that we will be using today is my 2007 Honda Civic Si FG2. So the first thing that you're going to have to do is you're going to have to pop your hood. So how you can tell which lever is which: this one's for fuel. You can tell this one's for the trunk because the profile of the car is showing that this is the front. So that's the one that opens the trunk. So the one that we need is right here, where it shows that the profile up here is the front and that's what's open. So there's going to be two kinds of ways, either push or pull. Almost all of them are pull. This one is a pull, and that's how you open your hood. You're going to want to have a rag or a piece of toilet paper or a napkin from like a fast food place or something, because you're going to have to physically wipe some oil. To open your hood, there's a latch underneath. A lot of people don't know that it's there, right? But there's this little tab right here. If you feel under here, it's the only thing. You push up on that tab, and then you can lift the hood to open it. Then you take this stick right here, it's called a hood prop, and you look for the spot on the bottom of the hood that's got a hole in it. Boom, right there. Then you take your stick, you lift your hood up, you put it in the hole, and it props up your hood. Now the way to find your oil is the oil is always going to have this symbol. That is the automotive universal symbol for oil for a car. You'll find it on the oil cap, on the oil dipstick, sometimes on the oil drain, whereas antifreeze is always different. It's up here. Trans fluid on these don't have a dipstick. That's windshield washer fluid. So none of those things can be confused with oil. So since you know that only two things up here should have oil, the fill cap, which is going to look like this, where you put oil in, it looks like a gas cap, and then this, which is your dipstick. And what you're going to do is you're going to grab the dipstick and you're going to pull it until it's out of the car. After you've pulled it out of the car, it's going to look like this. And at the very bottom of it, there's going to be a little tab that looks like that. And you're going to wipe that off. That's wiping off the oil so that you can then put it back into the car, and that'll give you an accurate oil level. So now you take the dipstick, put it back in the hole that you pulled it out of, like so. It's kind of a pain in the ass to do with this car one-handed trying to film, but there we go. And make sure it's straight, but you want to push it all the way down. Make sure it's all the way down so you get an accurate level. Then you pull it back out, and you want to look at the end of the stick. There are two dots, and you want your oil level to be between those two dots. The lower dot is the low mark, the upper dot is the full mark. As long as you're within that range, which you can see here I am, then you know you have a proper oil level. If it is down below that first dot down here, that means you need to add oil. Now, something pretty universal that is also important to keep in mind is that almost universally on all oil dipsticks like this one, the lower mark and the upper mark correspond to a quart of oil, 1 quart. At the low mark, at the bottom dot, the one towards the end, that indicates that you need to add a quart to get to the upper dot, which is the full mark. If it's at the full mark, do not add oil at all. If it is at the low mark, you want to add a quart to get it to full, or you can add a half quart or whatever, as long as it's in between. You just don't want to add more than a quart. If it isn't showing on the dipstick at all, you have problems, and you need to put a quart in it immediately and see if it shows on the dipstick. And if it does, you might have gotten away with it, and then you just want to fill to that second dot. If it's below the single dot, you know it's more than a quart low, just throw a quart in there, and that'll probably bring you up in the middle in between the two dots. If you need to add oil, you want to find the mark on the mark that indicates it's the oil cap on this engine, and you want to break it loose counterclockwise. This one always gets freaking stuck on this car. Hold on. Okay, so if you have to add oil, you're going to add it in here. It goes right into there, into the cylinder head. And in my car's case, it even tells you what viscosity or thickness of oil that you need for your car. This one says SAE 5W20. This car has 225,000 miles, so I run 1040, and it seems to love it. It doesn't smoke, it doesn't leak, it has perfect compression, it's great. So I don't care what anybody says, I will never run 520, that's like water. But in your case, if you're not experienced with cars and you don't know your engine, do what it says. Buy this exact number at O'Reilly's or AutoZone or a grocery store in an emergency, and that will give you oil that you want to put in here. If you have an old car, get conventional mineral oil. If you have a new car, it probably runs synthetic, and so you don't want to get the wrong kind of oil. So that is how you check your oil and add oil in your vehicle. It will vary between vehicles. It won't be in the exact same spot, but you're looking for the little stick that has this oil symbol on it. That's your dipstick. And then your oil cap will also have the same symbol here, and usually will have a viscosity of oil that the car is supposed to use. They will be in different spots on different engines, but universally they're almost all going to be like that. You're going to have an oil fill that looks like that, and a dipstick that looks similar to this. Sometimes they just have like a yellow curvy handle. Here, I'll show you on my other car. Okay, so for instance, like on my Turbo Regal here, you can see clearly this right here is the dipstick for my Buick. And it's the same exact thing. You see the corresponding dots right there? The lower one is a quart low, the high one is full. And everything in between is just a micro measurement of those. You can see even on the dipstick it says, add 1 quart. Right there under the oil. I don't know if it'll show up on camera or not, but it says add 1 quart right there, and then up there it says full, and that's pretty much universal. After that, take the hood prop out, lay it down, take your hood, let it drop from about a foot. It should close. If you still see a little bit of a crack in this line here where the hood meets the fender and the hood is raised, that means it's not closed all the way, and you can just give it a nice shove on the front of it to latch it. And that is the process of checking your oil or filling it up.